Great intro. Thank you so much. Ola Englund the Swede. Everyone, thank you. Fucking hell. What an intro. Hello. What's up, everyone? Welcome to FAQ159. You guys have been like busy little bees and been asking me questions in the comment sections of the FAQ videos, and I'm here to answer your frequently asked questions. And we start right about now. Stahl V. Eisen. Hi Ola, I have a question concerning your album, which I really love. Thank you. When did you get the idea for the song titles? Did you write the songs that fits to your titles, or did you think about how to name them afterwards? Great question. Obviously, I start with making the song. I never start with titles. I mean, who starts with titles? Just saying. I mean, it's all about the music. I start with the music, and then afterwards, I'll try and find a fitting title to the song. Now, if it's a feared song, for instance, or the haunted songs, which has lyrics, then it might be a different route than this. But I mean, for my solo stuff, for instance, no, I just make up something after the song has been done, basically. When it's time to release the album, I make something up, basically. That's why the song names are stupid. Let's just say that. Thank you for the question, and thank you for the kind words regarding my album. Thank you, appreciate it. You can buy my album. Did you know this? You can listen to it on Spotify. Alexander Comment. Question. I'm having trouble getting good at guitar despite practicing regularly. How did you get to your current still level? Did you do exercises or just learn riffs? Any tips for improving? Thank you so much. This is an excellent question, and I think it's a hard one to answer, because what is practicing and what is considered being enough practicing for a lot of people? Well, let's just start with this. I did practice a lot. Or more than I do at least now. When I was younger, I was sitting watching the Rock Discipline video with John Petrucci, and I was sitting there practicing my chromatic scales and played for several hours a day. And thanks to that, the young years is why I can kind of have some sort of level today that is acceptable, in if that's a good term. I'm probably at an acceptable level in terms of what I do for a living. Let's just say that. But sometimes the expectations of how much you actually practice might not, reflect the skill that you get to. If you understand what I'm saying, like they probably need to practice less to get to a certain level, and some people just have to practice harder. I mean, if you sit for 8 hours a day and practice guitar, and if you practice smart, you're gonna get better at guitar. Let's just say that. I have a member, Evan. He's sitting 6 to 8 hours every day shredding guitar. And even just throughout the year, I've been seeing him progress because he's fucking practicing, You have to put in the hours. So if you're thinking like, okay, I'm not getting good at practicing regularly, I'm just imagining maybe you're like practicing 30 minutes a day. I mean, 30 minutes a day is better than nothing, but it's never gonna compare to someone who practices 2 hours or 3 hours a day. Just saying. I mean, the guys that are practicing a lot more are gonna hit their level a lot quicker. So sometimes the expectations are a little bit different among people. Let's just say that. So it's a really tough question to answer. I mean, what is the good amount of practice to you? That's something you have to find out for yourself, I think, or maybe go to a guitar teacher and just let them teach you something, because sometimes if you sit and practice by yourself, you can probably make it a lot more efficient by practicing smarter. And sometimes I just noodle around and not really playing anything that is challenging me, and that's probably not helping me. So I would say that the best way to practice is to find something that's challenging you in every way, and at every level. Take yourself out from your comfort zone. That's probably the best way and the smartest way and the most efficient way of practicing guitar, other than doing the chromatic scale for 4 or 5 years. So there's just so much to practice that it's hard to say, and it's hard to say. I have no idea how you're practicing guitar. For me, it's been a mixture of both, like just exercising and also learning riffs. Learning riffs has been a very important thing or part for me to get better. At least in recent years, the times where I feel like I've evolved has been when I joined bands and learned music that I didn't write, and I became better because of that. So there's different ways of practicing guitar. I don't know what's right for you, man. Just saying. Thank you. Stuntcat TV. Hey Ola, would you say that your experience as an accountant helped your career as a musician before you created Solar in a way that you'd recommend it to other people too? Thanks and wish you all the best. Vest. And the best. Heroes vest. Look, and he put a little vest emoji right there. How about that? Thank you, that's a great question. Yes, I do believe, at least not necessarily just being an accountant. Obviously, I think it's important to know what you're doing with your accounting and all. But I think it's more about having the work ethic more than anything. Like, you know, I've been working day jobs and desk jobs and physical jobs and whatever, and you know, regular 8 to 5 jobs for a long time, and bringing that work ethics into a musical career is definitely something I would recommend. Because a lot of musicians, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of musicians are lazy. And I think just having a basic work ethic will probably get you further as a musician if that is what you strive to become. Being an accountant definitely helps me in a lot of ways, and you know, it's easier for me to start companies, and I know what to do basically. And you know, if you're becoming a musician and you know, a self-relying musician where you have your own company and all that, I think it's very important to learn everything about it. Like some basic accounting, how does that work? Just try and learn and understand, and then when you understand how it works, then you can have someone help you out. You know, just knowing a little bit of everything, if that makes any sense. I think that's probably gonna help a lot. Thank you so much, that's a good question. Nathan, hey Ola, what was your thought process on your song Space Invaders? I personally love the song, especially the intro, and would love to hear more things like it. And where did you get those violin sounds? Thank you so much. Space Invaders from my album might have come as a shock to a lot of people. It's basically just a very ambient song with violence on it. And yeah, let me load up on my Axe Effects. I'm gonna load up a sound. And I'll show you what I did, okay? So it's actually kind of funny. The guitar in the beginning, as you hear, it sounds very synth-like, I would say. And it's because it's actually being pitched down. The guitar itself goes like this. That's the chord progression. Very simple, but I was using a pitch shifter in my Axe Effects to get to this. Which is basically 5 semitones, which is basically 5 semitones over E, which makes it an A. How about that? So. So that's the main, like, chordal part of Space Invaders. And then, before I decided to have violence on it, I was basically planning to have solos throughout the whole song. And I was sitting there noodling, you know. You know, basic melodies and stuff like that. And all the progressions of what is now the vinyl was something I had for guitar lines on the song. But as I was sitting there trying to make a solo for this, I was like, you know, I don't feel that this song needs solos. That makes any sense? So I started to program violins instead to add on to this music. And the problem with violins is that violins that are fake sound very fake. It's really hard to get real sounding violins. So I had my violins. I thought they sounded a little meh. I went up to Fiverr and found a girl, you know, a real girl. I mean, they do exist. That plays vinyl, and she offered the service of recording vinyls. Why am I saying vinyls? And she was able to record my melody parts with a violin. So basically that's what happened. I sent all my fake violins to this real violin person. She recorded it, sent it back, and that's what you hear on the album. Those are real violins that I programmed at first, and then someone actually recorded real violins on it. And I think it turned out really well. It's really quite a break on the album to listen to that song, very ambient one. But I'm really happy with the results. And she also contributed to the last song, A Bid Farewell, as well. So yeah, be sure to check that out. I'm very proud about all of that. It sounds just so awesome, you know? Daniel Nyqvist, hey Ola, thanks for a great channel. For an absolute beginner, what solar guitar would you recommend? That's an excellent question, and yes, thank you for enabling me to talk about my guitar brand, solarguitars.com. To buy guitars. To be honest, there aren't really any, you know, advanced or beginner guitars in the solar guitar range. They're all sort of designed the same and play the same. All that really differs are the specs in that sense. This is from the 2 series, which doesn't have, you know, the specs like the 1 series, which has usually has like Floyd Rose and Evertune and stainless steel frets and whatnot. This is from the 2 series, but even though they're in different series, they still play the same because they're designed the same, they're built the same. It's just the specs that differ. So if I were you, I would probably recommend getting like a 2.6 out of something, maybe like an A 2.6. The A 2.6s are very standard. They're probably our least expensive guitar, but you will get the solar experience. Just saying. And you know, I consider these being really easy playing guitars because it should be easy to play guitar because that's when it becomes fun, you know? So nothing advanced, just straight up really easy playing guitar. Thank you so much. I'm done talking about myself. It always feels very salesy when I have to sell my own guitars, but you know, you asked, okay? And I deliver, and you know, it's my brand, and part of the reason why I don't do any sponsored shit on my channel, because I don't have to. I have solar guitars, and you guys buying solar guitars, and that helps me, you know? So that's great. Thank you so much. Yas Colel. Hi Ola, I'm going to go out on a limb and ask a non-guitar question. I love to barbecue on my free time, and I was wondering what kind of pit cooking do you have in Sweden? All right, I do a lot of barbecuing myself, but I don't have any pit to barbecue in. And I'm probably gonna get fucking lynched for this, but I do have a grill, and it's from IKEA. It's an IKEA grill. Before you leave and unsubscribe to my channel, calm down, calm down. I'm a noob when it comes to you know, barbecuing and all that. I'm learning, okay? But I do really like to barbecue some good, like, you know, sweet honey marinated chicken. That's probably one of my favorites to barbecue. It's just really easy. Unfortunately, this IKEA grill, you can't level it, so it's just one level, and you just have to deal with that. But I do like barbecue. It just makes everything taste good. At least it's coal, you know? Big fan of charcoal barbecue right there. Okay, thank you. Ghetto G. Hey Ola, question for you. Now that your new album is out, awesome, by the way, did you find that not being able to have everyone as a producer and drummer in the same room together added any more time to making the album keep rocking? Well, you know, I'm kind of used working like this, you know, with people. You know, I'm sitting here in my studio. It's me, Louise, and my brother, and the rest are just people that, you know, I try and work with the right type of people, and that's how it's been for the past years, where, you know, I try to keep the right person at the right spot, if you understand what I'm saying. So I know, like, for my album, I know Delta Empire, he's kick-ass on the drums. I know he will deliver, you know, I know he will do a good job, and then, you know, we can go back and forth on emails a little bit, and that's enough. That's definitely enough. I mean, we could probably have done a lot more by me being there while he records, but I think it's just less stress on him, less stress on me if we're separated. And I know he doesn't need a push. Sometimes when you record an album, you know, you push each other, but I don't think he needs that push. So in that sense, you know, it's perfectly fine not to be together when we record. When it comes to the mixing, I chose Jocke Skog because he is local and I can go and sit with him while he was mixing. And this is probably the only time where I'd like to sit together with a person and work together with the album, because he's a huge part of the album too. I mean, together we built this journey, and he's really good at mixing and, you know, making everything flow, you know, great together. He's complete genius when it comes to delays and reverbs and all that, and it's that I do like being close by to him. So that's why I pick Jocke. He's local, I can go to him and we can have an open conversation, and it's just easier with the mixing part, because going emails back and forth, it's just really hard in the mixing process, in my opinion. So yeah, it depends on what part of the product it is, and it's also very important that even though you have a demo and an idea, stuck in your head, it's also very important to let the drummer, do his thing. And sometimes you have to kill your darlings and find new things that, will be excellent. And I think that is very important to keep the music very dynamic and non-boring. Otherwise, if I was just going to release my music with the demo drums that I'm doing, I mean, it would be, it would be so boring. Just saying. You need to have a real drummer have a real take on your music. Just saying. Thank you. Wild Guitar God. Hi Ola, what was your first Floyd Rose guitar? Thanks about your answer and greetings from Bulgaria. Thank you. My first Floyd Rose guitar was the Washburn Dimebag 333 Blackjack that I got on my 16th birthday. I had no idea how to work a Floyd Rose. It was frustrating as even back then I could read on like Harmony Central on how to change strings and whatnot. And you just have to jump into it. It's quite a steep learning curve, and it's a frustrating learning curve to learn about the Floyd Rose. But once you have it down, it's actually pretty simple. You just have to get into it and overcome that first hurdle of frustration. When you start changing the tuning of one string and all of them goes out of pitch. It's terrible, I must say, but it's a lot of fun too. But yeah, I'll see if I can find a picture of my Blackjack 333 that I had. It was an excellent guitar that I used live. When I started playing live, that was cool. Morkoi69, do solo artists play special made solo guitars, or are the specs the same as the one you buy at the Solar Web, for example? A lot of people get the misconception that the artist gets something different from us. I mean, that's usually the case, like when bigger artists are in bigger brands, that they might get like, custom shop USA guitars and play those live and whatever. And then there's the lower tier overseas model that they don't play, but people buy. With the solar, with solar guitars, there's no difference between the guitars that we ship to the artist with the guitars that are actually being sold on the website. It's the same guitar. It's the same for me. These are the production guitars that we ship around. There's no, let's mod it for this artist or whatever. No, let's just design the guitar so the artist likes the guitar that are also the guitar that people are being able to buy. That makes a lot more sense. So no, there are no modifications to the specs or modifications to the actual guitars that we ship to people. It's just the same guitar that we ship to everyone else. Just saying. But great question, and thank you for making me talk about solo guitars. Loud Nivek, Ola hates music. Okay. I mean, you guys are the experts. I'm just gonna sit here and listen. Thank you. Display DK, Ola the Swede, I'm about to get married. I have been with my girlfriend for 16 years and we have finally decided to get married June 19th. That's soon, man. We are both huge fans, and I wanted to ask you if you had any tips for a newly married couple and if you could give her a shout out. Her name is Sarah. She's been very supportive of my musical journey, and she even bought me my first solo guitar. Now, that sounds like a proper keeper to me. Just saying, good job on getting a woman like that. Sarah, you rule. Now, first tip for a couple that wants to get married is that I would recommend not getting married before you kind of work out a few things. Let's just say that. A lot of people are jumping into marriage way too quick. Sometimes there's some skeletons in the closet that people don't bring out. Just bring them out before you get married. Just saying, just so you're both on the same level, so there aren't any nasty surprises after you get married. Just saying, I think it's just really important to be open and honest with your loved one. You have to be completely sure that you're marrying the right person before you get married. Just saying. Does that make any sense? Don't jump into anything. That will just be problems later. But it seems like you guys have been together for 16 years, so you probably already figured all of that shit out. So a big ass congratulations to you guys, okay? Thank you so much. Well done. Now get some kids. Go have some sex, okay? So good old-fashioned missionary. Huh? That's what people do when they get old. Just say. Good, thank you. And that, my friends, was the last question for today. I hope you enjoyed this short little FAQ. And if you have any questions, post them in the comment section of this video, and I'll maybe bring out your question for the next FAQ. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.